This is a very, very humbling place for me to stand. After a very long career of cleverly hiding myself behind the camera and out of the spotlight, I'm standing in the spot where I've many times watched it from the audience as my colleagues accepted this incredible honor. I never imagined that I would be one day standing here looking out the other way with the light in my eyes. My heartfelt congratulations certainly to all the other inductees in the class today. Thanks to the SVG members for their votes. It's an honor I never would have expected and trust that it's accepted with a great deal of humility, and I feel privileged to be included in this class of inductees. I'm blessed to have a career doing a job that I truly loved. Catching the bug in the middle school AV club, those cool 16mm projectors, then behind the scenes through high school and off to Ohio University to study architecture, and quickly found out there was a lot more art to that than engineering. So the day before I was going to change my major to structural engineering, a friend who was involved with the campus TV station invited me to watch them produce the nightly local news. That was it. Major changed next day. WOUB was the PBS affiliate for Southeastern Ohio, and so it had real equipment, Plumicon cameras and 2-inch VTRs and statewide microwave links. And the RTV school didn't really do the engineering part, but the engineering supervisor kind of calmly answered all my questions during a tour and put up with me constantly showing up to look over everyone's shoulder. Mike Snedden eventually allowed me to become kind of an intern, was also instrumental in contacting some of his peers after my graduation, and that started everything off at TPC, which turned into Unitel, and the next decade became the very long string of short flights and long days. In all that time, I believe I have probably worked with and for a significant percentage of the people sitting in this room. In the course of those long days, each of you have had an impact on me in some form or another, and I'm eternally grateful for both the wise counsel and sometimes affectionate scolding. Many, many thanks. There are a few of those people that deserve some special mention. My early mentors at TPC, Ron Stutzman, John Luff, Bill Lorenz, Terry Culture, who save for Stutz, who we lost way too soon, all remain treasured colleagues and friends to this day, and I thank you all. I sometimes still hear Stutz whisper over my shoulder when it's quiet and I'm stuck. And my Olympic brethren, the Adams family, Matthew and Chip, Daryl Jefferson, Bob Dixon, Bill Lorenz, Bill Lance, Carl Malone, Lucas Sejas, Kevin Callahan, the other one, and a special mention for Chris Jorgensen, who just never failed to have the answer and was forever losing his tail. And most especially to David Mazza. I've known Dave since he was an 18-year-old sideline cable utility at Penn State football games. We worked together on and off for 4 decades, the last 2 at NBC Olympics, and I'm in awe of his abilities as a leader. He also remains a treasured friend. There probably aren't many accolades that I can add to those spoken by Dave's colleagues many times from behind podiums like this, only that everything they said is true, and I feel privileged to have been part of his team. Thank you, Dave. Being a remote TV engineer becomes a lifestyle. It's a somewhat circus-like existence that requires tremendous patience and support from one's family and friends. I've been blessed with both. My wife, Jan Stieff, who we lost this January, was also a TV vagabond, and together we spent a lot of years managing complicated, ever-changing schedules, sometimes on the same jobs, most times not, all while raising our 2 beautiful daughters who have grown to become smart, strong, independent women, thankfully inheriting more of their mother's style and taste, and of whom I cannot be more proud. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Taylor. I deeply love all of you. When Ken Kirschbaumer and I talked after I learned of my induction, one of his questions are, what are you most proud of? And, kind of a long pause for thought. There's been a lot of the work, certainly. The pictures from the Met, Lincoln Center, live downhill skiing, all of those Olympic broadcast centers, culminating in those moments when the opening ceremony's bell rings and it all seems to be working. But I settled on something else. A forward-looking teacher at my daughter's high school knew that some form of broadcast training was going to have to be part of his AV department. And with some donated professional equipment and help from the school board, we installed a pro-level studio. Students recorded and live streamed their morning announcements, sports competitions, everything that you can imagine. Those that have passed through that program have gone on to work in the industry, and I'm proud to have played any part in their development. And it's continued as a new generation of smart and passionate individuals have begun to leave their impact on how we generate the stories that we all tell. I think the future is in very good hands. SVG has always been a valuable education resource, and many of the people in this room tonight are involved in some way with those efforts. I would challenge anyone who isn't to make a concerted effort to do so. You may have to look hard, but the opportunities are there. There are lots of Tylers and Jakes and Chris's and Bretts out there hungry to jump into this. And when Ken asked, why did you do this? My response was, somebody did it for me. We all need to be that someone. And who knows, one day they might be standing here humbly thanking you as the mentor that started them off. It's a really satisfying feeling. Thank you.
The other day, there was